5 games down, 1 to go, alternating victories over the past day and a half here in Arlington, Texas, between the squads representing the nations of the United States of America and Canada, as we welcome you to the 2014 International Bowl. Lincoln Rose, along with Tom Monfoletto, welcoming you here to Maverick Stadium on the campus of the University of Texas at Arlington. Captains meeting at midfield in just a moment here, moments ago. One final time, the national anthems for both Canada and USA played, as it takes a whole new meaning when you've got USA and Canada across your chest. Tom, we have seen that. We've seen the intensity escalate as the weekend has progressed. And as noted, alternating wins. Yesterday, the United States took 2 of the 3. Today, USA took the first contest, a meeting between a couple of U-17 clubs. A subsequent U-17 meeting wrapped up just moments ago with Canada prevailing. So the score in this series, 3-2. USA has clinched at least a share of the North American Championship Cup. This will decide whether USA claims sole possession of that championship this year, or if the Canadians can claim a share as well.
Yeah, if you had any question on whether or not these teams cared about winning or if this meant a lot to them, you look no further than the game that we just saw at 4 o'clock that you were able to call with Sean Lerman, a 28-21 victory, Canada over the U.S. This one should shape up to be a really, really competitive contest as well.
This all part of the new format here for the International Bowl. In the past, it has been Team USA's U-19 national team exclusively against a world team with players from all over the globe. Well, this year they wanted national pride on both sides. Canada, of course, your defending world champions at the U-19 level from the summer of 2012 when that took place 3 hours south of us in Austin. The next World Championships, well, they'll be a little bit farther from here in the Lone Star State, over in Kuwait. But it has been fun to watch young men suit up for both squads. These are both national teams, as at the U-18 level, some of the younger programs for Canada were here, actually clubs from British Columbia and Vancouver. A lot of potential talent on display that you'll see at the collegiate level and perhaps in the NFL in the future. A few seniors making their way onto this young roster, but for the most part, most of these Americans that you'll see on display have one more year of high school football to be played.
They do, but at the same time, it still is relatively the best of the best at their position, at their age group. Let's take a look at the offensive starters brought to you by Cutters. There's no glove that performs quite like Cutters. Big Luke Lancaster, we saw him over the summer, a really big, strong arm. Looking forward to see him today. Taking a look at the defensive starters presented by Shock Doctor, the leader in mouthguard technology. Colby Beebe, not listed on the defensive starters. He's a linebacker to look out for. Corey Giordano and DeAndre Wallace, outstanding talents for this USA football U-18 defense. So it should be a good one here tonight.
The Canadians kick to begin things here as the United States will begin on offense. You saw the starting lineups. Both teams will be flexing their 2 deep. This time the return from one of the 3 men deep. It was Dion Alston who winds up fielding it. Alston's a 5'7 junior out of Salem, New Jersey, playing his ball at Salem High for one final fall on the gridiron next year. And United States sets up 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line.
Lincoln, we're really excited to see Luke Lancaster come out here today. Just watching him warm up, we got here a little bit early yesterday, and the U-18s had a practice in their shoulder pads and helmets. And watching Luke Lancaster just throw a ball around with Tucker Byrne, so smooth. Can't wait to see him play tonight.
Opening play will be a handoff, and the Canadian defense able to get in the backfield and put an end to that run quickly of Lawan Darian Carney, the first young man to get the touch, the diminutive 5'6 running back. We talk about the quarterback Lancaster. There's no shortage of players from his Southlake Christian squad out of South Carolina, as Lancaster from Gaffney, South Carolina. And second down, similar struggles for United States, as this time the touch for, again, Lawan Darian Carney. And the stop, an excellent job by Joel Van Pelt out of Winnipeg.
And Trevon James really making it difficult for this U-18 U.S. offensive line so far. The big tackle out of Trinity Pauling.
I'll say Van Pelt's out of Winnipeg, actually out of Lethbridge at Winston Churchill High School in Alberta.
And another penalty, Lincoln. We have seen more penalties in these 6 games than I've ever seen in my entire life.
So 3rd down and about a long 16, a short 17 to go. The burden will be on the arm of Lancaster here. Needs protection. Rolls out, just fires up a prayer. It's going to come up short, and the United States will be punting this football away. Excellent job by this squad for Canada, forcing the 3 and out.
And not a great start for this U-18 U.S. offense, not really getting any kind of protection or push on that offensive line. And Lincoln, we've seen it all weekend. Really nothing can happen offensively if you don't have a secure offensive line. And it seems like that this defensive line for Canada came out early and got on top.
Jordan Shukar to punt for the United States. And he will get, as often is the case on these artificial surfaces, a friendly roll. They believe it touched Canada, in which case it's a live ball for USA. They'll sort out the pile. I did not see a beanbag down, but it appears as though it touched Canada, and it is going to be USA football pending the indication. No, they say it never touched Canada.
And hopefully we'll be able to take a look at this, but as you are on the defensive end or the team that would be recovering a fumble, you are supposed to act as if you recovered the fumble, point the other direction, go crazy. And Team USA had everybody pretty much convinced. And we'll be able to see if this actually hit a Canadian member of the receiving team. And it is really close to tell. I don't think it did. But nonetheless, a smart job by the coverage team for the Team U.S. to cover up the ball.
This is Frederick Paquette-Perrault, who's in at quarterback. And Canada making a big splash on 1st down, a gain of close to 25, flirting with the red zone, down at the 22.
Rashawn Provo starting the game off nicely with a great run up the middle. And the U-18 squad for Team USA needs to figure something out up front.
Tom, we saw these two teams scrimmage over at the home of the Dallas Cowboys back on Wednesday, and it was a decisive advantage both offensively and defensively for this U-18 group from Canada. Finally, they get to play on the full-length field, and Canada is marching quickly now down to the 11. That time is Rashawn Provo out of Pickering, who got the carry to move the sticks.
Provo's got a lot of room to run. He's a very, very dangerous back. And as you said, this is a tall task for the U-18 squad over here for Team USA.
Head coach for the U-18s for USA, Aaron Brady, out of Washington, D.C. from Gonzaga College Prep. As his defense right now finds themselves on their heels. Canada can pick up a 1st down inside the 2, close to the 1. And just that forward progress, fighting for extra yards, muscling his way over a defender. Again, it's Provo, the running back from Pickering, Ontario.
Really strong run there by Provo, finishing it off well with either a stiff arm or a forearm shiver, I think it was.
It's almost a can't-lose situation here for Canada. It's 2 yards for a 1st down, 3 yards for a touchdown, with 2nd down right here coming up. Out of the pistol. Carry up the middle and in the end zone. Canada able to strike first. Again, they dial up Rashawn Provo.
Rashawn Provo got the ball on every single play on that drive and led them all the way into the end zone and did not have too much to really fight with.
Extra point coming up here for Canada to take a 7-0 lead. They had to march downfield, but boy, did they move quickly.
And no one said this was going to be a shutout. Time for Team USA to regroup, make a little bit of an adjustment up front somehow.
Gregory Hutchins with the extra point. It is true. A perfect start for Canada. Defense comes through for the 3-and-out. Offense shines with 7 points on the board. They are still in the hunt for a share of the 2014 North American Championship Cup. And this natural rivalry between the USA and Canada, the two preeminent powers within the IFAF, the International Federation of American Football.
Of course, a great opportunity for the U-18 team here to play against the Canadian best. that they have to offer. Like you said, we saw them Wednesday night in the Jamboree at AT&T Stadium. We saw some promising things out of this Team USA squad. Some of it on the defensive side. DeAndre Wallace, definitely somebody to look out for, playing middle linebacker all night tonight.
United States will continue to have the triumvirate of Rob Ennis, Lawan Darian Carney, as well as Dion Alston back to return here on the kickoff to set up the second offensive possession of the night here in this opening quarter for the United States. Room to run, blocking in place. And now just trying to shake free for some additional yardage. Still on his feet across the 40 to the 41. Rob Ennis, the junior, out of Millville, New Jersey.
Rob Ennis, that's the guy you got to get the ball in his hands at all times if you can, because he's going to give you a spark if nothing else.
He was back on that 2011 USA U-15 development team. Also set his school's single-game rushing record there at Millville Senior High of 302 yards in a single contest this past year.
Millville also the home of a certain outfielder that plays for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Not sure if you know. His name's Mike Trout.
Big number 48. Probably could play some great football back in his day.
Looks like we have a false start here on the left tackle, number 76, Noah Myers. Las Lomas High School in Walnut Creek, California.
These are penalties, though, that an offense that could have its struggles against this Canadian defense cannot afford. First and 15.
As you mentioned earlier, the representation from South Lake Christian, a lot of Californian representation on the U-18 Team USA squad.
Yeah, from each coast. That time it's Luke Vassos, the tight end, on display. Luke is actually scheduled to graduate at the end of this spring. Second and 15. And it could get a little bit longer. Struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard for Ennis on the carry. Talk about Rob Ennis and, well, his knowledge of the game. He mentions a couple years ago had lunch with Mel Kiper Jr. He told Mel Kiper to look out for a certain talent. Vontaze Perfect said, you know, despite the work ethic issues and off-field issues, I think he'll mature. And Mel Kiper disagreed with him. Well, Perfect this year went on to the 2014 Pro Bowl. So perhaps Rob Ennis has a future in identifying talent. Certainly has plenty of talent of his own. That time on 3rd and 16, U.S. gets close to 15 on the ground with Ennis again.
Yeah, and Ennis, that's a pretty remarkable story, Lincoln, having the guts to go head-to-head with Mel Kiper and his hairdo and kind of combat some of his theories.
Rob spends his entire year also working alongside his dad, part of his dad's second business, cleaning office buildings every morning before school. A hard worker, great discipline. United States has overcome some odds, moves it across midfield for the first time today. And let me know if you've heard this name before, Rob Ennis for USA.
And at this point, they're just trying to get him the ball in some space. They're running some option with Lancaster. Lancaster, not traditionally an option quarterback, but they're going to do whatever they need to do to get Ennis in some green. And that's what they did just there for the first down.
Ennis rushed for 1,300 yards in high school this past fall. He's the option, cuts back, has space. Does he have the speed to turn it upfield? He cannot get past the Canadian defenders. He'll be dropped for a 2-yard loss.
Look for them to flex Ennis out at some point, maybe run some bubble screens, some halfback screens, whatever they need to do to get him the ball in different formations and a variety of ways to be creative and get him the football.
I believe that's Samuel Rossi for Canada currently being tended to. You see, trainers from both sides, there's a mutual respect and obviously concern for the student athletes out there, regardless of whether they're wearing the red, white, and blue or the red, white, and black. Trainers from both sides want to make sure all these men are able to leave here healthy with great memories of this event.
And they're doing a pretty good job, Lincoln. Seems like every time the trainers walk out to the field, somebody walks off under their own power, and maybe on a lot of times, if not all, they've been able to re-enter.
We talk about how impressive these teams are, and of course, naturally, you have great individuals. The question is whether in less than a week's time with 2-a-days each day, you can actually put something that resembles a team. And I've been impressed with what USA football has been able to do, go out and find the right high school coaches to help lead these squads. And, again, you get a lot of young men, great talent, but also all motivated to win as a team. No individual goals being set above the team goal.
I think that's a pretty remarkable feat, to be honest, Lincoln, to get everybody on the same page, only having them here for a week, not having played together on their high school team, not having spent that much time together. I know there's a lot of talent on the field, but it is a pretty remarkable feat for these coaches to be able to install an offense, install a defense, teach some schemes and some techniques that they want, and get it going on a football field.
It is, in fact, Rossi, the young man from Montreal, being helped off the field at the moment. He makes his way to the near sideline. 12-minute quarters, just about 5 minutes having elapsed here. Canada with the lone score. United States trying to match it, facing 2nd and 12. Not many favorable downs and distances here early on for USA thanks to this defense of Canada. It's about to be 3rd and 12 following the incomplete pass down the sideline, looking for Greg Peace the second, the young man from, well, not too far from here, Grand Prairie, Texas, outside the Metroplex.
And Lancaster really kind of struggling to be able to stay in the pocket. Not his fault. He's just not having enough time to be able to stay in the pocket, read a defense, go through his progressions, and make a throw.
Peace is a junior at Bowie High School. 3rd and 2. Low snap, but a recovery. Has receiver options, but needs somebody past the 30. This pass will be enough for a first down if caught. It is not. Excellent coverage by Canada, as that time breaking up the play, the defensive back of Craig Hinchberger.
Really nice play by Hinchberger. Actually, Lancaster had somebody open, but wasn't able to haul it in as Hinchberger knocked it away at the last second. So at the very least here, Lincoln, be able to punt it away and hopefully pin Team Canada back deep into their own end zone or own territory and make it a little bit more difficult than it was on the first drive.
DJ Wilson was the intended receiver. You see an opportunity to try to convert on 4th down. Ball pops loose. It is still a live play, and Canada will take over at the 38-yard line.
That did not work out very well, Lincoln, if I can make it the understatement of the weekend. Number 55, Sean Robinson for Team Canada, able to scoop up the fumble and return it about 20 yards. That was about a 50-yard turnaround there on the fake punt attempt for Team USA, and a big gamble did not pay off.
So Canada takes over already with a touchdown advantage. Second drive of the ball game here on the 37, out of the pistol. Great protection now, room to move. Trying to thread a needle, dangerous pass, and very fortunate that for the United States, Randy Taylor was unable to come up with that one. Taylor, the junior out of Vicksburg, Mississippi, able to help break it up.
Nice play by Randy Taylor, almost getting the interception there. Team USA needs to find a way to create turnovers and get the ball back so they can get Rob Ennis the football. Period.
So you see the 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen to the left. They send one in motion to balance out the set. They will throw to that young man with space. And now it's time for speed to take over. A flag flies in late, and now a subsequent flag as well. There will likely be multiple penalties here to sort through. Khalil James with the catch for the first down. Young man out of Windsor, Ontario.
And a really nice setup of this play here. Khalil James goes in motion and is pretty much wide open as you have the safety for Team USA backing up. And by the time he made a break to James, it was too late. He was already going in the direction of the end zone.
We'll have our expert officiating crew sort this one out. Officials have done a nice job over the past couple of days.
The offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down. Dead ball foul. Unnecessary roughness on the defense. Late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Understand one penalty took place during the run of play, so they can assess that penalty. Since the subsequent penalty was then after the end of the play, they will tack that one on as well. It's not a matter of them negating the two. You saw them mark off the yardage one direction, and in the end, it's a net victory for Canada, 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line.
And C.J. Hill playing safety for Team USA got caught on his heels a little bit there, and an unfortunate ending to that play.
About a 5-yard gain there for Tyler Chow out of Calgary, Alberta, taking the handoff from the young man who's still at quarterback this second drive, Frederic Paquette-Perrault from Montreal. They'll give him a long 4 yards perhaps here. Ball on the 17. A little over halfway through this opening quarter. Canada successfully able to secure a touchdown on its opening drive. Looking to take a 2-score lead in this opening period of play. First down, now looking for more. Still unable to bring him down until finally inside the 5-yard line. Again, it's Tyler Chow.
And these Team Canada running backs not only are finding seams up the middle of the field, dead red in the middle of the field, but they're also finishing every single runoff with extreme force and not going down after the first contact. So it's making it even more difficult to defend.
Sid Irwin Jr., the junior from Centennial High in Burleson, Texas, able to finally wrap them up. It's 1st and goal for Canada. And that should be a false start. Instead, they let the play carry on, and the United States doesn't mind the fact that they overlooked the movement prematurely on the running back. Colton Beebe getting into the backfield, the junior.
There's our boy Colton Beebe. We saw him play extremely well on the Jamboree Wednesday night, frightening people, making huge hits. And there he is for the first time tonight getting on the board. Colton Beebe. 6'3", 245 out of Kansas City.
And all of a sudden it is 2nd and goal from 14 yards out. Time to pass will overthrow his receiver into the back corner, but at least threw it where no USA defender could get to it. Among those on the coverage, Jeremiah McCullough doing a great job. And you'd love to have the luxury of a 6-foot cornerback like the young man from Baltimore.
Yeah, you're starting to see that a lot more. More taller guys are playing corner because there's more of a need for that height at that position because obviously receivers are coming in at 6'3", 6'4". If you look at the height of the receivers last night, besides Charles Nelson, of the U-19 team, when you have a corner that's that big, you look at the Seahawks secondary, it makes it a huge advantage.
3rd and goal from 14 yards out for Canada. To the left. Pressure, and all of a sudden the seas parted right down the middle again. Must get to the goal line and able to do exactly that. Waiting for the indication. 2 arms in the air. And for the second time tonight, touchdown Canada. This time a tremendous individual effort by Frederic Paquette-Perrault.
Paquette-Perrault finishing the runoff with a nice little shoulder to get himself inside the pylon. It was good coverage downfield, but not well pursued by the USA defense, and he was able to finish this runoff in strong fashion, just like his running backs.
A chance here to make it 14-0 after 2 possessions for Canada.
Really a nice play by Perrault.
This again is Hutchins for the extra point. Snap is high, and they'll say the kick never got off. There were 2 seconds on the play clock, so there's not delay of game. We'll see what the infraction was. Likely a false start.
Full start. Number 69, offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat the try.
Should still be pretty much a chip shot from about 25 yards out. 4:15 remaining in this first quarter. Each team has had the ball twice. As Canada looking for the extra point here from Hutchins. Pressure around the edge. Calm, cool, collected under pressure as that ball will split the 2 uprights here in Arlington, Texas. We're midway between Fort Worth, where the West begins, and Dallas here in the Metroplex.
And Lincoln portion of today's game brought to you by Riddell, Protect and Perform. by Sports Authority, all things sporting good, and by Shock Doctor Sports, the leader in mouthguard technology. So far here today, Lincoln, it's been all Canada.
Again, Canada took one game yesterday, has already taken one game today at the expense of USA. They prevailed in the U-16 game yesterday. They prevailed among the older half of U-17 earlier today. They're looking for their third victory this weekend, part of this 6-game series between USA Football and Football Canada. Football Canada enlisting the help additionally from some clubs from British Columbia and Vancouver and Ontario as well.
But leaving absolutely no doubt in anybody's mind, Lincoln, that football is alive, well, and popular in the country of Canada, because we have seen some outstanding talent out here on the field tonight.
Well, they made that statement a couple summers ago when they became the first nation other than USA to win the U-19 World Championships. USA avenged that loss last night in a decisive win in which their defense never allowed a score from Canada. Special teams trying to factor in here for the red, white, and blue. And that time, the talented young man getting up to the 30, it was Lawan Darian Carney. Finally brought down by Nicholas Rohan, Plurde Hector.
Carney out of South Hills High School in West Covina, California. Really shifty back and catch the ball out of the backfield. And you can see some breakaway speed that he exhibited there on the kickoff return. So some definite weapons here for this U-18 roster. They just need to get it to them in some space where they can do something.
It's again Luke Lancaster out of the shotgun as your quarterback for this third drive of the ball game. And look at that pile move, 6 yards downfield. Never much separation, just a lot of big men up front wanting it more. Deion Alston on the carry, the 5'7" running back.
And that's big Marshall Lefferts and Michael Legan on that offensive line. That's the kind of push that we're talking about. They need to sustain a drive here.
Lefferts from this greater Dallas area where he plays for Episcopal High School, the private school. They looked downfield, wanted to get that ball into the Canadian half. Instead, it'll simply be third down coming up. Again, looking to get Greg Peace the second involved on that last toss.
Michael Legan just committed to the University of Texas at San Antonio.
Yeah, UTSA emerging as an impressive squad under Larry Coker, the former Miami National Championship winning coach. UTSA plays down there in San Antonio in the Alamo Dome. Almost won the Conference USA Championship in its very first year as a member this season. That football program is only 3 years old.
Yeah, Michael Legan's excited to be a part of it. Here's what he had to say earlier this week.
Michael Legan, UTSA, offensive line. The fans can expect that I'm going to come in and work hard. You know, I'm not going to let anybody outwork me, and I'm gonna try to come in there and compete so we can put on a good show for them. I'm an aggressive player. I like putting people on the ground. Our school's a run-dominant school, so I like run blocking and putting people on the ground against their will.
Michael Legan hopes to continue to do that in the Alamo Dome, and he just did that a couple plays ago, and he's going to need to continue to do that for Team USA to get something going on offense.
Yeah, you saw the 6'3" senior there from LaPorte here in Texas. He'll play Division I college ball in his home state. Right now, it's not so much about your state, it's about your country. USA trying to represent its nation here tonight. 3rd and 4. The option was eliminated. Flag comes in. We'll see which way this goes. As that time, Daniel Nesbitt helped break it all up.
See what the flag is here, but it's offsides.
Yeah, that's going to be enough for a first down. USA needed 4. The penalty gives them 5, and a break there for USA.
It's a break that they needed, and I'm still waiting to see Lancaster sit in the pocket and rip it like he can. We saw it over the summer, an outstanding arm, a really powerful arm, and I'd like to see him sit in the pocket and find somebody downfield.
An early deficit for the junior quarterback and company to overcome, but slowly but surely picking up 4 more yards on the ground. They go back to Deion Alston. And USA's ready to go here quickly before the play clock even gets started on 2nd and 6 from the 45. Blocking up front. Great job by the receivers. I say that. A flag flies in. Otherwise, it would be a first down. Sidney Davis makes the catch and benefits from the blocks, but there may have been a hold factoring in along the way for the pride of Natchez, Mississippi.
A lot of yellow on the field once again, Lincoln. A good quick release from Lancaster.
See all the officials coming in together. Want to make sure they get the call right. Bill Lemonnier helps USA Football oversee this crew. Lemonnier just a couple years removed from being the top referee at the national championship game, the year that Auburn and Oregon squared off. As a spot of the infraction foul, they'll walk it back and negate what would have otherwise been a play for a first down. Sets up 2nd and about 14.
I just don't know where the heck that was, Lincoln. No idea. Sidney Davis, some good hands, some good speed. And I don't know where that hold was. Just don't know it.
So 2nd and 14, Lancaster, your quarterback, in a balanced set out of the shotgun. Again, Canada gets across that line of scrimmage in a hurry, but making up for it with his speed, Deion Alston, one of the rotating running backs we're seeing here for USA.
So both rotating running backs, as you said, not the tallest in size, not the biggest guys, but very shifty, very similar in what they both can do. And what they can do is they can see a hole and they can get through it quickly. A good run there by Alston to make it 3rd and manageable here.
There are benefits to being 5'7" when everybody on your line is 6'4" or taller. Able to hide behind them, live in obscurity, and advance that rock. 3rd and long. They need 7. Must get across midfield. The incomplete pass will not do that. USA will likely have to punt this football away. As for the first time tonight, they target Christopher Johnson, the 6-foot receiver out of Summerville, South Carolina.
Johnson running open there. Lancaster just led him a little bit. But Team USA getting some receivers open, Lincoln. It's a good sign so far. If they can provide the protection for Luke Lancaster, he'll find him.
And Tom, it'll be Colton Hunchak back to return. And this will take a Canada-friendly hop. USA will fall on it to prevent the ball from getting any closer to midfield. As Canada, again, will set up nicely on their own 39-yard line. They're 2 for 2, scoring touchdowns on each of their first couple of drives and shutting down USA now through 3 possessions.
Lincoln, most of this USA roster spent time at the development camps held by USA Football, and those are about to start in a couple of weeks. They start right here in Dallas, Texas, and then in Austin, Texas the following week, and they go all the way through the end of May. If you're interested in joining and signing up for any of these development camps, you can go to usafootball.com and click on the National Teams tab.
Tell Nick Panisi we say hello. As Canada looks for a significant chunk on first down, quarterback will take a pop for his efforts. Looking for Khalil James, but in the end it'll be 2nd and 10 now from the 39.
I think we just got confirmation. If you are to sign up for a development camp and you put in the top right corner, if you enter the promo code PANISE, then you get a sizable discount. If you enter Panisi, it will give you a discount.
2 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Nick Panisi doing a great job spotting for us in addition to all the other hats he wears for USA Football. One of the many great folks here. And a late shove as USA just unable to exercise. This is something we saw last night. Some additional discipline and just may cost USA. Instead of Canada being 4 yards shy, automatic first down.
And we're going to take a look at it here to see where this late hit happened. And just an extra shove after the play. Can't do that. Sid Irwin Jr. flagged for it.
1st and 10 from the opponent's 39-yard line now. Canada looking to go 3 for 3 on scoring drives. This time trying to have success on the ground, but there is nothing there. for Caden Johnson. Johnson out of Saskatchewan is derailed by DeAndre Wallace, young man from Maryland, for a loss of 2 when his forward progress came to an end.
DeAndre Wallace, standout middle linebacker, been very impressed, has had a very impressive high school season. Can really identify gaps in the offense and explode through them.
Well, a short-lived protection. They get the ball off, I believe, and ultimately Wyatt Hendricks was the young man disrupting that play. We'll set up 3rd down. Hendricks out of Topeka, Kansas. They grown big in those parts, 6'5" inches.
That's a lot of man coming after you if you're trying to look for a receiver downfield. You don't want to be backpedaling in that situation.
220 pounds. Third and 12. Canada will likely look to the air. First, they'll look for a timeout. That's the first timeout for Canada used in this opening half. They have 2 remaining. USA has similarly burned 1 in this opening quarter. With 1:13 to play, you're watching live coverage of the 2014 International Bowl as we wrap up this 6-game series from here in Arlington, Texas.
And the International Bowl is sponsored by St. Vincent Sports Performance, defining sports performance, by Stubbs Legendary Barbecue Sauce, made right with all natural gluten-free ingredients, and by Marriott, the official hotel partner of USA Football. Special thanks to Marriott for putting us all up this week.
Lincoln Rose, along with Tom Monfiletto, each requesting a late checkout tomorrow. With 1:13 to go, the United States wants to make a statement here in the first half. But first, the defense will need to come up with its first stop of the night. As 3rd and 12 coming up for Canada, leading 14-0. And this play never gets off. A familiar sound of an official's whistle this time of night. 3rd and 12 just became 3rd and 17, and the likelihood of a handoff has significantly decreased.
Still in the first quarter. Couple flags elongating the first stanza here.
Again, the pistol formation made popular by the New Mexico Lobos and, of course, Colin Kaepernick and company over at Nevada. They do go with the short toss. It's going to be a first down. They needed to get to the 29-yard line, did Canada. Now some extra pushing and shoving, but finally out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
3rd and 15, Lincoln. They set up a screen beautifully. You got to be looking for a screen and draw in 3rd and long situations. And it caught Team USA off guard. They're able to get the first down as they were all the way backed up almost to midfield. And they were able to convert and really take the wind out of USA's sails.
Yeah, Caden Johnson caught that ball well shy of the first down, but all the blocking in place for Canada. Inside of a minute here in this first quarter. Run to the tackle on the left. Now looking for the end zone, dragged down out of bounds inside the 7-yard line, and another nice tote of the rock for Caden Johnson, this time with the carry.
Whether it be Caden Johnson or Rashawn Provo or even their quarterback, Paquette Perrault, everybody been running with some serious force and just really running straight through this USA defense.
It's 1st and goal from 6 yards out. Not Canada's first trip inside the red zone. They're 2 for 2 tonight. Each time touchdowns the result. Back to Johnson, down to the 3-yard line. And a stop this time from Sid Irwin Jr., the linebacker. Clock will run down. That's likely the final play of the opening quarter. And it means we're down to the final 36 minutes of regulation in the International Bowl. USA right now leads 3-2. Canada on track to draw even for a share of the 2014 North American Championship Cup.
NFL Flag, powered by USA Football, is an exciting way to get into the game. NFL Flag is fun and fast-paced, emphasizing football, fitness, fundamentals, teamwork, and sportsmanship. Leagues are easy to start and open to both boys and girls ages 5 to 17. All NFL Flag players receive a USA Football membership as well as an official NFL team jersey, flag set, and insurance, an incredible value. Coaches receive a USA Football membership and insurance as well. So sign up now to become a better player and have fun with NFL Flag.
Great hosts here on the campus of the University of Texas at Arlington. And, of course, we're here at Maverick Stadium. University of Texas at Arlington, though, has not had a football team since 1985. The primary use, in addition to track and field for this stadium, high school football on Friday nights. And we even got to see the Friday nights get put to use on a Friday evening in February last night when the U-19 squad for USA prevailed handily over Canada. Now, 1 year younger, this matchup between U-18s tonight, and it's been a lot of the same for Canada. Success on the ground. Second time tonight, Paquette Perrault has kept it and called his own number. Now 20-0 with an extra point pending.
Team USA really struggling to stop the run here. Team Canada's offensive line is really having their way with this Team USA defensive line and dominating throughout.
So an extra point coming up to make it a clean 21-0 advantage for Canada. 2 for 2 thus far. And no complaints after the third. 4 seconds into the second quarter of play, Canada with a statement here in the early get-go, 21-0.
Well, some of these players you might see on at the next level. We told you about Michael Legan going on to play at UTSA. Some of them might even go on to play in the NFL. The USA Football Alumni Spotlight is brought to you by Upper Deck. Collect the best. Since 2009, 8 former Team USA players have gone on to play in the NFL, including New York Giants running back David Wilson, Cardinals defensive back Tyrann Mathieu, and Patriots wide receiver Aaron Dobson. Most recent notable Team USA alumni include Heisman Trophy and National Championship Game MVP Jameis Winston of Florida State, Georgia running back Todd Gurley, and Stanford signal caller Kevin Hogan. Congratulations from Upper Deck to all former Team USA players making a name for themselves at the next level. Upper Deck, collect the best.
Left off preseason baseball All-American for Jameis Winston.
Preseason baseball All-American, which is debatable. I don't think he had that great of a season last year. But, who are we to argue with somebody that probably throws 97?
USA will continue to put 3 men deep on the return game. I imagine there are far more than just 3 players on this USA roster who are accustomed to being the top special teams return guys in their respective leagues back home. A lot of great individual talent and athleticism, but tonight the battle of the lines has gone in favor of Canada early. From the 12. Looking for room on the sideline, short-lived as knocked out of bounds at the 29-yard line. At time of the 3 men back, it was Dion Alston fielding it off the hop.
Team USA has to get a drive going here. They need to find some sort of rhythm here on offense. A couple of runs to get it going here, and then something will start to flow and open up in the pass game.
Clayton Oliver's our new quarterback here for the United States on its 4th drive. Oliver, the 6'2 junior from nearby Grapevine, Texas, at Colleyville Heritage. And the United States goes right up the middle. Tired of hearing us talk about the line for Canada winning the battles. That time, Lawan Darian Carney, the beneficiary of a nice push up front. So the 6-yard gain for Carney sets up a much more favorable 2nd and 4 here for the new quarterback. The handoff takes place back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more for USA. It'll be 3rd and 4 coming up. Nice stop by Brock Letkeman out of Canada.
Looks like Rob Ennis back into the game for the U.S. at tailback.
3rd and 4. Backpedaling. Completion. First down and then some to the 43-yard line. As USA found a way to avoid the pressure and another way to get Rob Ennis the football.
And leading the way for Ennis, big number 66, Kobe Rose from Islip, New York.
Kobe's dad played semi-pro for the Brooklyn Kings. His mom played for the Women's Professional League as well. Has already been all over the world in terms of traveling. As Rob Ennis gets another carry, but again, Kobe Rose, the offensive guard, a junior from New York. Canada, Mexico, that may not impress you as those bordering nations, but Belize, Honduras, Barbados, Bahamas, that's just about half of the nations he's listed he's been to. As he's seen the world, proud to represent the USA.
Well, I actually thought, I heard he was a card dealer on a cruise ship.
As this will get him within a couple of yards. As Lawan Darian Carney, the most recent running back to be entrusted with the ball. Micah Tights out of Calgary with the stop. So 3rd and 2 for USA, looking for another first down on this drive. Again, Oliver shows off he too can move when they need him to move the chains.
Clayton Oliver adding another element to this offense here. Lancaster not as fleet of foot as Oliver is, and they're going to look to use his legs to their advantage.
Quick toss out the left side. That's a forward pass, incomplete. And it may be better off that the ball was dropped by Jeremy Hunt.
Hunt out of Charleston, South Carolina, getting his first target of the day.
2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Oliver remains your quarterback, and now the loss on 2nd down will set up 3rd and even longer. A loss of 4 yards. Micah Tights again factoring into the play. Young man out of Alberta.
Micah Tights just rocketed into the backfield there, saw an opening and went for it, made a huge play to keep Team USA from the first down marker.
Approach the final 9 minutes of this opening half. Lincoln Rose along with Tom Monfiletto. Thrilled to have you with us for this 6th and final game of this International Bowl series. Hosted by USA Football. Oliver backpedaling, and after the pressure, the defense looking for points of their own. They've seen the offense punch it in on 3 occasions. This time it's Travell Wisdom out of Toronto, able to take it in for 6.
Travell Wisdom dropping some knowledge on this Team USA offense. That speed was outstanding. Look at his breakaway speed from when he catches the ball to when he gets into the end zone. There is no shot that anybody is really going to catch him. This is remarkable. Oliver gets caught in a bad situation, throws off his back foot, gets nothing on the football. It lands right in the hands of the wrong person. And Wisdom is actually a linebacker. Look at this speed. This is outstanding.
And I believe it was Sean Robinson who got the pressure on the quarterback, forcing the ill-advised throw. So Canada with 21 points, essentially resulting from the 3 possessions on offense. The defense comes through to make sure that the offense can stay on the sidelines. 28-0 with still almost 9 minutes to play in this opening half.
Man, Team USA needs to replenish with some electrolytes, if you ask me. Portions of today's game brought to you by Gatorade. The G-Series Prime, Perform, and Recover. Also brought to you by Cutters. No other glove performs quite like Cutters. And by Tyson Fresh Chicken. Serve chicken that's farm fresh. Serve Tyson Chicken.
It's USA versus Canada. These are the 2nd oldest teams involved in this weekend series. A pair of national squads for USA and Canada. The U-18 level for the United States on display here tonight. And this reflects the struggle we saw back on Wednesday between these two groups when they took over the entirety of AT&T Stadium, split the field in half, offense and defense constantly running, where Canada shined on both sides of the football.
Yeah, this is a really talented group, Lincoln. It's a very deep and talented group with some serious players, 3 deep at each position. It seems 3 deep at each position. Obviously, the team isn't that big, but at the running back position, at the quarterback position, at the linebacker position, they have talent all over the board.
Gregory Hutchins is the only kicker, though, on the roster, and he gets his job done kicking deep. He's 3 for 3 on extra points. United States gets the football back after the pick 6. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 as another nice stop defensively for Canada on special teams.
And at this point, Canada is just rolling. When you get this kind of confidence in a football game, in a setting like this, you're able to take chances that you might not have taken earlier in the game, and it makes you so much more dangerous when you have this amount of talent and this amount of speed on the defensive side of the ball. It really, really makes it difficult for the offense.
I believe that tackle was made by Nicolas Roja, Pleur de Hector, out of Quebec.
That was
8:46 remaining here in this opening half. Again, Oliver back in, looking to bounce back after his last toss was taken the other direction for a touchdown. They'll hand off, try to get something positive going, and it's about a 3-yard gain for Rob Ennis. Ennis, back in high school, has also played some safety, and if you ever need a place kicker, has filled in that role as well.
really impressed by Ennis so far. Are the biggest bright spot for Team USA.
2nd and 8. They'll say officially a long 7 here for USA. Ennis again hurdling. First down, cuts inside. One man to beat, and Ennis into Canadian territory inside the 40-yard line. And there is a flag down about 2 yards past the original line of scrimmage.
Flag down on the 30. And it's against the defense, so Team USA will decline it. And what a run by Rob Ennis. Unbelievable play here.
Ennis was finally wrestled down at the 36. It's 1st and 10 for USA. Chain Gang still hasn't even had time to set up, but Oliver and company are ready. Pressure on Oliver. This one caught. First down. Along the sidelines, up to the 20-yard line, Dion Alston.
Between Alston, Carney, and Ennis, they have some extremely quick and explosive backs here. These guys need to get the ball in their hands as much as possible. Team USA doing a great job on this drive of doing that.
And it's easier to run the hurry-up when you're picking up first downs in large chunks of yardage. United States, what would normally probably just be a 2-yard gain, picks up close to 5 there with Alston on the carry.
Now this is the rhythm that they've been talking about. It all is caused by a big break in the defense, by a big play. It makes everything easier. Everybody's got some confidence, and now they're starting to roll.
Oliver at quarterback out of the shotgun. USA hopes to have Canada on their heels. The defensive end gets back in time for Canada on 2nd and 5. Eyes on the end zone inside the 5-yard line. And between the backs that time, it was Alston on the carry, able to get between him and the end zone for Canada with the stop. I believe that young man was Gabriel Simmons from Saskatchewan, the flag bearer during the national anthem tonight. USA shut out thus far. 4th possession of the ball game, and they'll dump it down back to the line of scrimmage. It was 1st and goal from the 4. It'll now be 2nd and goal after they targeted Rob Ennis, who was already being tackled in the process by Trayvon James.
Yeah, trying to mix it up here, trying to catch Team Canada off guard. They just ran 2 runs in a row up through the teeth of the defense, trying to roll out and create something through the air. But this offensive line is in a bit of a roll here, so I say you keep riding with it.
2nd down and goal from 4 yards out. Oliver has been your quarterback for each of the last 2 drives. Hand off to the right side. Will pick up about half the yardage necessary just outside the 2. And it'll be 3rd and 2 coming up. Rob Ennis picking up those 6 feet.
And now you got 3rd and 3. I don't think Team USA is thinking at all about a field goal. So they're going to try to get as close to the end zone as possible on this drive. They just can't afford to go backwards.
They mark him at the 3. Oliver out of the pistol. Keep it on the ground, looking for that hole, and down to the 1-yard line. They'll be short of the end zone, and a decision to make here, as you alluded to. 4th and goal from the 1, trailing 28-0 with 6 minutes to go in the opening half. USA is probably looking to score in multiples of 7 instead of the chip shot field goal.
I think you got to go for it here. You got to pound it. You got to show your team you believe in them. You got to show your offensive line you have confidence in them to get into the end zone if you have any shot of coming back into this game.
Fourth and goal from a yard out. Looking to put an end to the shutout. Oliver, hands off, up the middle, uncontested. Dion Alston is in, and USA is on the board midway in the second quarter.
When we get a chance to look at this replay, I want you to look at Luke Vasos, the tight end, playing H-back now for Team USA. Goes in motion and seals it. The last 3 plays, he had tremendous blocks, and the Team USA running backs weren't able to read them as properly as they probably should have. This time, Alston does a fantastic job and gets into the end zone. If you look at Vasos here on the edge and really sealing it and creating this opportunity for Alston to get into the end zone. Tremendous block there. It's actually a pancake as we see Team Canada bringing it back down the sideline.
Yeah, as we return to live action here, Jordan Chukar's kick was blocked, and Canada's taking it all the way to the opposite end zone. So while the USA got its first 6 points, Canada has added points 29 and 30, as Sinon Aubin-Lavol is able to take it back.
Bringing it back for 2 points. We're going to check a replay of it here. We were harping on that positive play for USA, and then here is the aftermath. A blocked field goal, a blocked extra point opportunity, and I still am not sure that the members of the field goal team are aware of the rule that you can bring it back, that the defense can bring it back for 2 points.
Yeah, at the amateur level, you can take it back for 2. At the NFL, it's blown dead immediately.
But I think I've seen that 3 times now, and each time it has been Team Canada blocking the kick and taking it back.
Well, it's a hustle play, and you might as well always pursue a football when you see it loose and just wait for the whistle to call it dead. Otherwise, you all of a sudden see Canada surrender a score for the first time tonight, and yet they claim momentum going into this kickoff from USA.
Be it as it may, Lincoln, it was a pretty impressive drive for Team USA. Rob Ennis with a couple of nice plays, and Alston with an excellent touchdown to finish it up for Team USA and actually get on the board. So this is a good thing. You kind of have to forget about the extra point block and return for 2 points and really just harp on the positives of that past drive. They get on the board for the first time. They have a 4th and 1 for the first time tonight. On the 1-yard line, they punch it in for a score. That's a big play. That's a positive thing that you can take from that drive.
Yeah, the final thought on the extra points and the struggles that some of these national teams have had, of course, your snap, your hold, the kick all have to be good, and those are 3 individuals that have not spent much time working together until this week.
Portion of today's games and yesterday's games brought to you by Marriott, the official hotel partner and VIP hospitality sponsor. Marriott is the official hotel partner of the U.S. national football team. So special thanks to Marriott for their support of USA football and the national team program.
5:34 to play. The United States, after the touchdown, will be kicking off here to Canada in a 24-point ball game. Canada living up to expectations at this U-18 level, trying to follow a victory from its U-17 group out of Ontario in the last game. You know, there have been 5 games. We're in the midst of the 6th. No nation has won back-to-back games. Canada looking to be the first. Onside kick, a flag is down. And understand there's a rule. You must have a balance set on each side of the kicker, and I have a feeling that even if the U.S. recovers, this will wind up Canada football.
Yeah, we have a flag down. You could be right. It could also be an offsides as they do the muddle huddle onside kick attempt, and it has to go 10 yards unless it touches a member of the opposing team, which it did, and it was gobbled up by USA. But as you said, it's probably coming back.
USA, illegal formation on the kicking team. Players more than 5 yards behind the kicking team restraining line. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So they will force them to re-kick.
Talk about a buzz kill.
That flag came down well before the recovery, so we knew it was not a question of 10 yards. Again, as you noted, Tom, ball must go 10 yards before a USA player touches it, unless someone from Canada steps up and makes contact with that ball. That was not the case on this kick. Instead, the kick took place with some players not within 5 yards of the ball.
So now they're backed up to about the 35 now, and this probably definitely changes the game plan here. So this probably takes away the opportunity to do this again as we check out the replay from the muddle huddle. I guess it is an illegal formation.
Yeah, that was the call, a 5-yard penalty.
I've seen that before, though, Link.
The rules have changed in the past couple of seasons. Part of it's been for player safety on special teams, back when they were debating getting rid of the kickoff return altogether. As here is the kickoff, 5 yards farther back at the 30.
Do you anticipate a time where we will not see kickoffs anymore?
I'll attempt to answer that with a non-answer after this return. As Canada will bring the ball upfield. You just never know. Obviously, they are doing everything they can with regards to player safety. A lot of injuries have taken place in special teams because you now have players with such great speed coming at you at different directions. They are talking less about kickoff returns. Most recently, we've heard the NFL and Roger Goodell. And again, the NFL is not the governing body of USA football, but certainly changes at the NFL has over the years influenced the NCAA rules, which are similar to IFAF's rules. But the most recent talk has been more focused on extra points. Canada back out there. Its offense is 3 for 3. Its defense has a score of its own. Liam Putt is the quarterback out of Ontario, as Provo takes the carry for about a yard gain.
Lincoln, you mentioned the safety concerns on kickoff. I remember my playing days at Old Hamilton College, the school on the hilltop that brings you lots of joys. I was targeted by a couple Bowdoin kickoff returners, and I thought I broke my leg as this one sails incomplete. But it was a situation where we were taught to avoid to the left, and I avoided to the left one guy and ran right into two guys going full speed, and they got me pretty good. And then in the film room the next day, the coach said, "What were you doing on this?" I said, "Coach, I was avoiding to the left. And look what happened to me. So why don't you come up with some new terminology?"
Tom Monfiletto always in favor of strict interpretation. Canada, after airing that last ball out, looking for Laflamme, will have a 3rd and 9 coming up here. Great protection, plenty of time, and right now USA's coverage that much better, except underneath. They finally find the open receiver, and that is Khalil James once again striking to keep this drive moving. So now it's Canada moving the ball downfield to the 48-yard line. (30-6). United States scored a touchdown on its last drive, only to see the extra point blocked and taken the other way for 2. So instead of a 21-point affair, 24 points the discrepancy on the board. Canada continues with some hard running. Churning out that carry was Provo.
And these Canadian running backs just refuse to go down no matter what. But you have to credit number 73 for the U.S., Nathan Robinson, coming from the defensive tackle position and not stopping until the ball carrier is on the ground. You love to see that kind of hustle out of the big guys up front.
Robinson from right here in Texas, over in Midlothian, where he plays at Maypearl High. 2nd and 6 to go for Canada. And an excellent job one-on-one wrapping up the running back after flying in was William Nicholson Jr., young man from Corona, California.
Nicholson Jr., 6'2", 225, great size for a defensive lineman, great quickness, a long wingspan, and some giant hands as well.
Tom, you, of course, hosted some of the signing day coverage that streamed live from AT&T Stadium. Nicholson could very well be a part of that signing day coverage in the future, as already some D1 offers.
He's the kind of guy that you would like to say projects really well and also plays really well.
Well, among 4 defenders, just enough of a pocket to throw that one in to Colton Hunchak, a young man who has doubled both with his legs as a special teams individual, as a kicker and punter, but also that time with the catch for the first down. On the replay, you'll see he just slips right into a pocket of space among the USA defenders. Canada threatening once again, 2:48 and counting in this opening half. 3 for 3 on offensive drives, looking to go 4 for 4. Nifty spin move, one more to boot. Up to the 30. How's that for a 7-yard gain for Provo?
Provo refusing to go down once again, spins off a would-be tackler, finally brought down by Rashawn Jones, who looks to be shaken up just a little bit on the play. I'm not sure how serious this is. We hope it's not very serious. But Provo, as we take a look at the run once again, just tree trunks for legs and doesn't stop them ever when he gets hit. A good spin there, and then a nice play coming up. But that won't even do the trick.
A great run by Provo, and then great sportsmanship helping up his opponent.
So Provo is going to have an outstanding future wherever it may be. Member of the Pickering Dolphins out of Ontario.
Second and 3 to go from the 31-yard line here for Canada. Still plenty of time to work with, but Canada down to just 1 timeout in this first half. United States with a pair.
Canadian receivers not getting much action today because they really haven't had to.
No, the line winning battles up front. Here's another run. It takes the 3rd defender coming in to finally stop Khalil James. And that's a 2-yard gain.
A good seal on the outside by Team Canada's offensive line. Khalil James out of Windsor, Ontario. Attends Catholic Central High School.
3 feet to go. Battle of these two lines. United States has not forced a punt as of yet here in the opening half. That arm on display, dropping it in beautifully. And there will be no punt to end this possession either. Colton Hunchak beats his man and has the ball put right on him by his quarterback for 6 more Canadian points.
What a throw by Liam Putt. Standing in the pocket, delivering it perfectly as you described it, Lincoln. And we've been seeing them run all day long, up and down the field. One of their few pass attempts, and this one just couldn't have been any better.
That's using the run to set up the run, that'll then set up the pass.
And just that's a beautiful pass. The coverage wasn't even bad there. And it was a great route and a great pass and great execution.
Extra point is good for Canada. As that time attempting the extra point was Gregory Hutchins. And it's now 37-6. A mountain to climb for USA with a little over 1 half remaining in this ball game.
A pretty steep mountain, Lincoln. Pretty steep one. Weather is nice tonight. We've had a great day of football. We had a great game in the afternoon. Team USA unable to come up with a win in the 4 o'clock spot, but the 1 o'clock game was a rather dominant performance. And I guess what you can hang your hat on for the Team USA squads here is that the games that they've won pretty convincingly.
Yeah, Canada's success has come in the games in which they've been able to grind out A lone score victory yesterday, a 10-7 win in that U-16 affair. Today, we saw a lone touchdown separate one of the U-17 ball games. But when you're grinding out wins, that tends to be a little bit more disciplined on protecting the football and, of course, winning the battle at the line. Well, Canada has been near perfect in this one. They have scores on both offense and special teams, as well as a pick six, scoring in all three phases here tonight. United States with 90 seconds remaining in this opening half to get something positive headed in the locker room. Of course, USA scored a touchdown on its last possession, its best thus far.
They did, and if they can take the positives from that drive and extrapolate them and use bits and pieces of it to get towards another drive and another approach, you go with what works, and you find out what works. You go with different packages, certain guys in different situations. You create good matchups, and that's how you get the ball down the field.
As Tom alluded to, this is the largest advantage any Canadian team has had against its USA counterpart this week. And Clayton Oliver is back in at quarterback. We've seen him and his mobility this time tossed back. Now that's a forward pass, so you don't have another option of a pass, and that puts the American Greg Peace II in a bit of a predicament when he's running behind the line in the opposite direction.
Yeah, a bit of a tunnel screen there. Tried to get him back to the middle of the field, but he was just met by the entire Canadian defensive line there.
4 wide, out of the shotgun. And now a flag comes in at the line of scrimmage. USA lost a yard on the last play. And the United States has 2 timeouts remaining. Canada has 1. And we'll get it sorted out here. So the clock will stay stopped, 57.4 seconds. The United States will have a 2nd and 6 coming up after the 5-yard penalty is assessed following 2nd and 11. And the Americans are ready to go.
And they have some guys that can burn on the outside. Just need to find a way to get it to them.
2 options to either side. Ball aired out towards the sideline on the near side. A little timing pattern. As USA, that time looking again for Peace. That sounds a bit more profound than it should be, but ultimately looking out the left side, throwing it where only Greg Peace II could get to it.
Clayton Oliver airing it out really for the first time today. Oliver looks like he is more in tune to execute the read option and use his legs. We saw a nice run in that previous drive.
3rd and 5. The handoff. A first down. It'll stop the clock temporarily to move the sticks. That time, again, we see Luan Darian Carney, young man who has played his final fall of high school football, looking forward to the future.
And I tell you, between Carney, between Alston, and Ennis, it's difficult to tell them apart because of how similar they look when running the football. Both extremely elusive and quick, as this one falls incomplete. But those are the playmakers. They've been doing a great job.
DJ Wilson, another one of those Southlake Christian products, just didn't have the speed to catch up to the arm of his quarterback. But this time, not a test of arm strength, as those two struggling to hook up that time.
And a snap that Oliver wasn't expecting. He's going to take off down the left sideline.
First down, gets out of bounds. That stops the clock with 19.9 seconds. United States, at the very least, would like to get into field goal range here with 2 timeouts. They have the majority of the playbook, including something to the middle of the field, available to them.
Clayton Oliver can move. That was a really athletic play there after kind of a botched snap exchange there.
Canada leads by 31 here in the closing seconds of the opening half. That ball is caught. It is just enough for a first down that stops the clock. Greg Peace II does, in fact, haul it in. And they're marking him short, so the United States presumably is going to have to burn a time. No. Let's see what they do here. 11.8. I don't know why you wouldn't just call it time. No, they are saying it's a first down across the way. One motion. Lines judge on the near side insists that those sticks need to move. And that means seconds need to be put back on the clock.
Hearing some unhappy fans.
The yardage gained looked like it was enough for the first down. They spotted it, did not move the sticks. So the end result appears to be correct here with 11 seconds of first down for the United States. U.S. has 2 timeouts. Almost surprised they're not using one right here. But now after all that delay, the moment they start this clock up, presumably the United States will snap it. United States runs a play, tracked down to the 27, and now the United States will burn its second timeout of the half with 5.2 remaining after the carry from Carney. Carney brought down by Sinet Spalding from Montreal.
No matter the outcome, Lincoln, certainly these players for both Team USA and Team Canada made the most of this week. A lot of football. Not every day you get to play football in February. Getting to play in AT&T Stadium, certainly a thrill for them.
Jordan Chukar comes in for the field goal try. This is with the wind at his back from 45 yards out. If there's a poor snap, United States just needs to call a timeout. They should have time to kick it again. Chukar gets it off cleanly. Plenty of leg, and that one is through. United States picks up 3 more points with a second remaining here in the opening half.
What a kick that was. Wow.
Yeah, Chukar could have drilled that one from 10 yards farther back. And the United States with something positive to take into the locker room. They do have to kick off this football as there's still time remaining.
Jordan Chukar, 6'1", 170 pounds from Poway, California.
Out of the Golden State.
That was a really impressive kick. We've seen some great kicking here today. First, you talked about Tarbett for the U-17 squad for Team Canada.
Yeah, one of the best legs we've seen. Really, if there was an argument for any place kicker over the past 2 days to have been the MVP for his Canadian squad, Tarbett affected that game and has much influence on it as any other kicker we saw.
Yeah, well, and a couple of times it was by mistake on the 2-point conversion and then the botched snap that turned into a touchdown. 2 enormous plays in that game.
And that helped Canada prevail in that most recent ball game that preceded this one. So with 1.1 seconds remaining, the United States will kick this one off. Clock starts running. Time has elapsed. And if the United States can make a tackle, that will do it instead of running out of bounds. So 24 minutes in the books in this, our final USA versus Canada matchup of the 2014 International Bowl. And at the half, it's Canada 37, United States 9. Canada, if they can prevail, will lock up a share with the United States of the 2014 North American Championship Cup at 3 wins apiece.
College football stars of tomorrow are being built today thanks to the support of Tyson Fresh Chicken and Stubbs Legendary Barbecue Sauce. Tyson is the presenting sponsor of the USA Football Tailgate Tour, a salute to top high school student athletes selected to play for the U.S. National Football Team. The USA Football National Team program boasts a star-studded list of alumni, including New York Giants running back David Wilson, Florida State quarterback Jameis Winston, Georgia running back Todd Gurley, and Stanford signal caller Kevin Hogan. This fall, the USA Football Tailgate Tour made 14 stops across the country to honor student athletes selected to participate on U.S. national teams. Tour stops featured visits to high school pep rallies, pregame jersey ceremonies, and tailgate parties prior to games, featuring Tyson Fresh Chicken samples prepared with Stubbs Legendary Barbecue sauces and marinades.
Oh, very excited.
Yeah,
we are so proud of him.
He's a really hard worker, and everything he does, he goes 100%. And he's also a good kid, a good student, just all around a good.
With a tackle for the Highlanders.
Tyson and Stubbs made sure that fans walked away with giveaways, had the chance to enjoy interactive tailgate games, and hosted special meet and greet autograph sessions with current and former NFL players, mascots, and cheerleaders.
This is great atmosphere. I mean, it reminded me back of my high school days, like just reminiscing just at this moment. And I mean, those guys are lucky to be out there, even though I'm in the NFL. That was still one of the funnest football times in my life.
Basically because these guys play their hearts out. You know, I mean, it's big. You know, every kid needs to know that they're doing well. Getting these type of things is like really important, and it's going to propel them, you know, to all types of new heights, new goals. It's like, hey, I really accomplished something, and everybody likes accomplishments.
Each of the high schools involved were honored to have the tailgate tour visit their school and were great ambassadors for the Tyson and Stubbs brands.
Well, St. Rita football, we're in our 102nd year. The energy here for football games is always great, but Tyson Chicken being here tonight added a lot of flavor, and I know everybody enjoyed sampling the chicken, seeing Desmond Clark, Staley. You know, it was a great night, a great addition to the atmosphere.
It was delicious. I tried every flavor barbecue sauce. I'm from Texas, so I like my barbecue. It's nice. It brings more attention to the school, which is ultimately what we want, is to get the word out about Lutheran North.
In total, the tailgate tour impacted more than 30,000 high school football fans in 10 markets from September through November, distributing more than 15,000 Tyson fresh chicken samples. The tailgate tour had its own microsite featuring a tailgate recipe contest, and tour stops were promoted on usafootball.com as well as other USA Football social media channels, including Facebook and Twitter. Thank you to Tyson Fresh Chicken and Stubbs Legendary Barbecue Sauce for your support of USA Football's national team program and for helping to create lasting memories for these great athletes.
Welcome back to University of Texas at Arlington. The score is 37-9 in favor of the U-18 Canada squad over the USA. It's been all Canada so far. It's been all running backs so far. And it's been a game that has been largely dominated mainly by this offensive line alongside Lincoln Rose. I'm Tom Monfiletto, and Lincoln, a really impressive showing by this U-18 Canada team.
Yeah, and this shouldn't be a surprise for those of you who took the opportunity to tune in live from our coverage this past Wednesday on National Signing Day when the U-18s took over to wrap up at AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. And, well, you had offense on one side against their USA counterparts. You had defense on the other side against the USA. And there was a lot of talk by the end of the night, a great final impression being left by this very U-18 group for Canada.
Yeah, and they are performing as many expected them to, between Provo and the rest of their backs, James and Chow. They've really just ripped through this Team USA defense, putting 37 points on the board. That is our highest total for a half here in the entire International Bowl Series. As you've been saying, they are one win away from tying it up at 3. And nobody likes a tie, but it's for Canada. It would be quite the accomplishment after going down 3-1 in the series to get these last two games would be a big deal. And obviously for the USA teams, getting the 4-2 advantage would be a huge deal as well, and that's what they're shooting for. But they have a 22-point, or what is this? This is a 26-point. It's a 28-point lead.
28-point lead.
26, 28
Regardless
lead.
what measurement you're using, whether it be metric or otherwise. Yeah, 37-9, and as I learned on Father's Day a few years back, nobody does like a tie. As, of course, you talk about the running backs, but Paquette Perrault at quarterback, a couple of keepers in his own right. He's been able to extend some drives and even take it in for a couple of scores.
Yeah, Perrette has really done a great job of orchestrating this offense, but this offensive line, I keep going back to it. The offensive line is really what's been doing the job for Team Canada. They keep opening up enormous areas and getting a huge push, and it's so vital. And the one thing that they've been able to do the entire first half that none of the other teams period in the entire International Bowl series is they've been able to play a pretty disciplined first half of football. We've seen some flags, but none of them really coming from the Canadian offense. And that's been kind of one of the banes of the existence of these teams that wind up on the losing end are penalties, and it seems like Canada has that part down too.
Tom, one thing we've noticed is regardless of the outcomes of these ball games, the end result is the same. Positive memories for both nations involved. A great week put together, hosted by USA Football here in Arlington. After last couple of years, this has taken place in Central Texas in the Austin and Round Rock areas. Arlington has been a great host for this event. Obviously, some great facilities as well, including these past 2 days here at UT-Arlington. But nothing more special for these young men likely in their lives up to this point than being able to wear their nation's colors, go out there and play the sport they love. You and I have been exposed to a lot of these young men, and their response has been pretty much identical to what it means to play football and, more importantly, what it means to play football for the United States of America.
Yeah, if you think about it, if you really boil it down and think about what this means, it means that at your age, you are one of the best 50 or so players in the country, representing your country to play against another country, and it's really kind of coincidental that it really coincides with the Winter Olympics that just started up last night, and it's just a really cool feeling. You can't imagine. That's why part of the reason why everybody loves the Olympics is because of what you just said. You get to represent an entire nation of people as being the best at what you do at a certain activity. There are no Olympics for doctors. There are no Olympics for surgeons. But there are ways that we do it in athletics that can show one country's prowess over another, or one country's ability over another's. And this is a really good way to get on the field, to play some really good competition, to do it with an incredible amount of sportsmanship that's been displayed all weekend long. And it's been a great experience.
For the players on Canada, they get to actually cross the international border into the United States, some of them for the first time. And we take this for granted, but there are plenty of these young men for USA at this young age as teenagers. Many of them hadn't been far from their own hometown and home states, some of them on an airplane for the first time this week.
Yeah, and that could be something as well. But when you get off an airplane, you go into AT&T Stadium, that's a pretty cool place to land. Downtown Arlington, very nice. We've had some great barbecue. We've had some great Tex-Mex. It's been a great week here. It's been a very hospitable week, and we want to thank Zach Reed. I don't want to go anywhere else without thanking Zachary Reed, who has been helping us all week long here at UT-Arlington. My favorite, my highlight of the week, ahead of seeing all this great football being played, ahead of being at AT&T Stadium where the internet was the fastest internet known to man, was seeing Zach Reed dance to the Cupid Shuffle earlier in the day. It was a really exciting experience, and we want to thank him and thank everybody here at UT-Arlington and everybody at USA Football, Nick Panisi, Matt Ferrara, Garrett Shea, Brent Dornbos, Russ York, Dan Gant. Everybody here has made this a really incredible experience, and we hope to be able to do this for years to come. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the recap of the first half right after this.
At USA Football, creating a better, safer game is our #1 priority. The second annual Protection Tour, part of USA Football's Heads Up Football initiative, is a series of free, one-day events for players and parents that delivers expert-driven health and safety education, focused on teaching proper tackling fundamentals, equipment fitting, and concussion awareness.
We need to go out here, start this thing from the bottom level, teach these young athletes, these 6, 7, 8, 9s, how to tackle properly so they can grow up playing the game the right way.
Supported by corporate partners Riddell and AIG, the 2013 Protection Tour impacted more than 2,300 youth football players and parents in 5 NFL markets throughout July and August. Events were hosted by the San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, and New York Giants. At each Protection Tour stop, players were introduced to the 5-step heads-up football tackling technique and participated in various football tackling drills, while parents learned about concussion awareness and proper helmet fitting. Each player was measured and sized for a helmet by a Riddell equipment expert to show parents the proper helmet size and fit. Protection Tour stops also included interaction with current and former NFL players.
The concept of team, working with others, and working collectively towards one goal. I think those are life skills, not just football skills. And, I really think that football teaches you more about those skills than any other sport that there is for kids to play today.
7-time Pro Bowl receiver Larry Fitzgerald of the Arizona Cardinals served as the Protection Tour's national spokesperson and conducted a media tour in New York City, appearing on numerous national television and radio shows to promote the events.
There's free tours all around the country at many NFL sites that are teaching proper fittings for helmets and shoulder pads, concussion education, and also proper tackling techniques, which is so important at the youth level.
The Protection Tour teaches young athletes the proper way to tackle and engages parents in the learning process. An educated and engaged youth football parent makes for a better, safer game.
On the competitive level, I think I had learned that deaf players can compete with anyone, and that we're no different than other teams. It's just that we're not able to hear. Our players come from a variety of family backgrounds. Some come from broken homes, some come from traditional families, and some of the kids don't communicate with their parents. But here, we are an actual team, almost like a family. We're like brothers. That's their passion. They want to know that they're going to be playing as part of a team, and they're representing themselves, the school, as well as being deaf. We deaf people aren't able to hear what the opposing team is doing. We have to use our eyes. We have to have good peripheral vision. So we do work a lot on our peripheral vision, keeping awake and watching constantly. Looking at the Indiana School for the Deaf, we've never really been a very large school compared to other deaf schools or even public schools, and that's a struggle. So we do the best we can with what we have, and we teach our kids that it's technique, not so much size. And some of the kids say, well, look at the big guy I got to play against, and I say, trust me, it's your technique. My passion is paying it forward to the kids. I graduated from the deaf school. I didn't have much support from my parents, but the staff here have been very supportive and then told me that I do have a future and I will succeed. I didn't really believe it because I was basing it on how my parents raised me, but those people that supported me were my football coaches.
NFL Flag, powered by USA Football, is an exciting way to get into the game. NFL Flag is fun and fast-paced, emphasizing football, fitness, fundamentals, teamwork, and sportsmanship. Leagues are easy to start and open to both boys and girls ages 5 to 17. All NFL Flag players receive a USA Football membership as well as an official NFL team jersey, flag set, and insurance. An incredible value. Coaches receive a USA Football membership and insurance as well. So sign up now to become a better player and have fun with NFL Flag.
And welcome back to the Sports Authority halftime report here at the USA Football International Bowl, live from Maverick Stadium. It is the U-18 U.S. vs. Canada matchup. And here are some of the numbers for the first half. Liam Putt, the quarterback for Team Canada, 54 yards through the air. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not. Liam Putt was the quarterback, so it was a different player for Team Canada. Getting the receiving yards and the touchdown, 3 carries, 8 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rashawn Provo, 4 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Rob Ennis for Team USA, 9 carries, 56 yards. And Alston, 6 carries, 34 yards, a touchdown, and a 30-yard reception.
Again, Lincoln Rose along with Tom Monfiletto. Thrilled to have you with us. Second half about to get underway. United States about to kick things off. But they tacked on a field goal on the final drive of the opening half to make it a 37-9 ball game. And a squib kick here that'll take it a couple awkward hops. It'll draw a flag. An illegal kickoff out of bounds. It'll benefit Canada. Want to remind you, you can follow USA Football throughout the year on social media, Facebook and Twitter. On Twitter, easy enough. Simply use the handle USA Football. You can also follow the national teams under USNFT. And it's been a fun week watching. Well, so many of these players credit their success to their parent or parents back home over the years who've done everything they could to give them the opportunities to succeed in football. And it's fun to see a lot of those parents on social media using the hashtag International Bowl, among others, joining the social media conversation, cheering on their family if they could not make the trip down to Arlington. First play will go 9 yards, make it 8 yards for Team Canada, setting up a very manageable second down. Tyler Chow on the carry. Tyler had some nice plays in that opening half. Canada, a great overall team effort in total.
And, Lincoln, I just want to clear something up here. We had a little mishap on the halftime report. Some stats credited to a different player. Frederick Paquette-Perrault was the one we were looking for, who had the throwing touchdown and 2 rushing touchdowns for Team Canada in the first half.
And time to start updating those Tyler Chow stats. It's his second straight touch, and he continues to improve on his night. So 37-9, we start here in the second half. It's the 2014 International Bowl, new format this year, and Canada taking advantage of the format right up until this final game. They're trying to win back-to-back games today to not only win this Saturday, but clinch a share of the North American Championship, and that, again, is the aforementioned Tyler Chow already with his third touch, the young man from Calgary where he plays for Notre Dame and Alberta.
Tyler Chow getting it going here. It's like, how many more running backs can Team Canada throw on the field that is going to have an incredible amount of success against this Team USA defense? Tyler Chow really patient with the football and getting downfield north and south. It's like a clinic watching these backs run.
Just a little over a minute has elapsed in this third quarter. Already Canada threatening. 26 yards out. They'll go to the air this time and throw it behind a receiver. As that time targeting Khalil James. Every time we call a young man's name, it seems like he's already been someone who stood out for Canada in that first half. James is no exception.
A lot of weapons here on the offense for Team Canada. Looking to extend this lead. 37-9 is the score.
Canada was a perfect 4 for 4 in terms of scoring touchdowns on each possession in that opening half. This time, Corey Giordano, the linebacker out of Ryan, New York, comes through with the stump.
Yeah, Giordano attending the very prestigious Fordham Prep in Westchester County.
A little bit warmer in these parts today as we were flirting with 60 degrees here in this opening week of February in Arlington. This is after it was below freezing for this past week, including some snow, about an inch back on Wednesday. And a false start will back Canada up. It goes from 3rd and 12 to 3rd and 17.
So a penalty will benefit the Team USA defense. Sometimes they need a little bit of help here to get the offense in less than favorable situations. We saw Team Canada convert a rather long 3rd and 15 earlier in the game on a screen pass.
Yeah, they've converted both through the air and on the ground on these long plays. This time the traditional route through the air and in and out of the hands. James just drops it. Otherwise, it would have been a first down and plenty to spare.
And it was a good route by James, wide open in the middle of the field, but unable to haul it in. It was a good throw by Putt, but this will bring up perhaps a kicking
Well, it would be a
opportunity.
50-yard field goal try into the wind from this spot. And not only would be, it will be. As in to hold, Colton Hunchak.
If you can't do it here, Lincoln, when the heck can you? You know?
Gregory Hutchins. And now no longer a field goal try, perhaps a punt or now an offensive route, a high snap. They'll fire it quickly downfield, short of the line of scrimmage. It's a turnover on downs, but you know what? This pins the United States back inside their own 20. So ultimately, not much damage done. And let's see where they spot this ball. This may be closer than I thought. They got it to Gregory Hutchins.
That was Colton
the kicker. It was designed for the young man who has a talented foot and showed off his hands that time. And it is a Canada first down.
Colton Hunchek with the throw coming into the quarterback position. A nice little lefty stroke over the middle, converting this first down. See Hunchak coming in at quarterback, handles a high snap, and hits a wide open receiver over the middle. As you said, the kicker, Gregory Hutchins. And we're going to remind everybody that portions of today and yesterday's broadcast brought to you by Riddell, Protect and Perform, by Sports Authority, all things sporting good, and by Shock Doctor Sports, the leader in mouthguard technology.
United States thought it had made its first stop today. Canada threatening to go 5 for 5 on offensive drives with regards to scoring a touchdown.
It's a second, third, or fourth and long opportunity converted by Team Canada.
Now they'll have the more typical quarterback out of the shotgun, and that's Chow being swallowed up about 3 yards behind the line. And Derek Porter making the stop. Again, Canada has had the sole possession in this start of the third quarter, now almost 3 minutes old. Marching downfield, already converting on fourth down with a pass completion from the holder to the kicker. Need to get this ball inside the 7 for a first down. Incomplete pass sets up 3rd and 12 as they're looking for Marc-Antoine Pliven. Franklin was in there on the coverage.
The incompletion brings up 3rd and 12 at the 18-yard line.
So 3rd and 12 here for Canada as they're looking for reasons to break up this silence with another celebration of points on the board. Right now leading 37-9. Backpedaling, dumping it back to the original line of scrimmage. USA will make the tackle. It's going to be another 4th down, 4th and 3 to go, as Nathan Robinson, the junior, makes the stop. Again, the young man out of Midlothian, Texas.
And the kicking team gets back onto the field here, Lincoln, but as you saw just a couple minutes ago, you never know what they can do.
So they go from an excess of a 50-yard field goal try, moving the ball downfield to this about 27 yards. Again, the lone Canadian kicker on the roster, Gregory Hutchins. Good snap, hold, and the kick is through. 3 more points on the board for Canada. 40-9. The United States has yet to possess the football here in the third quarter. They are about to get it for the first time about 4 minutes into this period.
A success of sorts for this Team USA defense. You wonder what the outcome would be if they're able to stop Team Canada on some of these 3rd and 4th and long situations. They're able to get them there with the help of some penalties and some good plays in the backfield, but it just has not gone their way, and those long downs, Team Canada has been able to draw something up to get the best of Team USA. Are you interested in trying out for the U.S. national team and spending 2 days receiving coaching and instruction by current NCAA college football coaches and maybe, just maybe, meeting Nick Panisi? Come out to one of the USA Football Regional Development Camps, making stops in 17 cities this spring. For more information, call the national team's office at 609-662-4495 or visit usafootball.com and click on the national teams tab.
Yeah, a lot of these young men on this national team for the United States and each of the national teams have been discovered through those development camps around the country, as USA Football spends the bulk of the year identifying talent for these national teams, in addition to its various initiatives and programs to continue growing the game in a safe manner. Rob Ennis gets his first touch of the second half. He was one of the stars for USA in that opening half.
I think if we were to choose players of the game right now, I think Rob Ennis would be the odds-on favorite for Team USA. And just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying earlier, Lincoln, the heads-up initiative is something that we've been showing videos on throughout the week. We've been talking about. We've been stressing how important it is, and just kind of wanted to go tonight and kind of repeat what I was saying last night. But as the game continues to evolve, you need a way to educate players, and especially to educate them while they're young. Get it in their heads while they're young how to play the game in a safe manner so they can do it for as long as they want.
USA looks for a spark. They bring in a quarterback that we did not see in the first half, Tucker Byrne, a 6'2" junior out of Coral Gables, Florida. Of course, that's the backyard of University of Miami. He connects with Chase Branson. Branson, a 6'4" junior from Annapolis Area Christian out of Glendale, Maryland. So again, the quarterback Byrne, his second snap on 2nd and 3. He'll hand off this time, and United States surrenders a large chunk of yardage. One of these days, and we see this everywhere from the pro, college, down to the high school level, one of these days running backs will be taught, if you're 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, go ahead and toss it out of bounds.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, it's an incomplete pass. That's what you're getting at, right?
I am getting at that.
Okay. Jeez, I wanted to make sure you weren't tricking me with some sort of Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, just more tomfoolery. As here is Byrne, looking for it all and instead picked off for the second time tonight. Canada's defense will pick off a USA quarterback. This time it's Hinchberger.
Craig Hinchberger reading Tucker Byrne the whole way, and Byrne has a really impressive arm. I was surprised that we didn't see him in the first half, but it looks like the coaching staff is going to go with him for a majority of the second half, and he shows his arm strength here, but leads his receiver a little bit too much and lands right into the hands of Hirschfield.
Yeah, he was trying to get that football to Dakota Jones, but ultimately, second interception for this defense from Canada. The first one went back for a touchdown, as Canada will pick up 2 yards on the ground with that carry from Khalil James. So ball at midfield for Canada. United States unable to answer the score from the Canadians, who are now 5 for 5, scoring touchdowns on their offensive possessions. Why do they have 6 touchdowns? Well, because their defense has scored as well. Looking to go 6 for 6 now. Well, toss out. That is a forward pass. Back to line of scrimmage. And now trying to dance around a couple of USA defenders, successfully picking up an additional 4 yards. As that's again Khalil James showing off the fancy footwork before finally being stopped by Colton Beebe. 3rd and a long 3 facing Canada here. USA looking for its first stop of the night. And I misspoke. There was one drive Canada did not get a touchdown. Of course, that was the successful field goal on the last possession. Run up the middle, first down and more for the red, white, and black attack being led by Caden Johnson.
Caden Johnson with a couple big runs in the first half, getting it going here in the second half for Team Canada. And once they get to the second level, it's really up to the backs to do the work, and they've been doing an outstanding job all night long.
Sid Irwin Jr. making the stop, at least for now, the touchdown-saving tackle. It's 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. As Canada picking up where it left off in that opening half. Again, they were looking to run inside the tackles, bounce it out for a 4-yard gain.
Mason Reedham, the 5'11", 250-pound defensive lineman from Arlington, Texas, nearby Arlington Seguin High School.
Yeah, Seguin High right here in Arlington.
Seguin. I was hoping for that.
Second and 4. And a couple of Americans will put an end to that run after a couple of yards after the catch. Marquise Richards able to pick up the yardage. Franklin on the stump. So a 3rd and 4 coming up here for Canada. And Tom, as you've pointed out, third downs for the most part have gone in favor of this offense and this defense for Canada. USA will try to make a big stop here, but Canada, of course, in field goal range at this point.
Yeah, they almost get excited at third down opportunities. They've done so well. It's like a 2-strike hitter that gets better with 2 strikes for some reason. Less pressure.
Canada will use its first timeout of the half. Both nations have 2 timeouts remaining here at the 2014 International Bowl.
Portions of today's game brought to you by, tonight's game, I should say, brought to you by St. Vincent Sport Performance. Defining sports performance. By Stubbs Legendary Barbecue Sauce, made right with all natural gluten-free ingredients. And by Marriott, the official hotel partner of Team USA. And also by Marriott, the official hotel partner and VIP hospitality sponsor of USA Football and the U.S. National Football Team. Special thanks to Marriott for their support of USA Football and the national team program.
Yeah, it's been fun to see all the USA players, U-15 all the way up to U-19 under one roof. They can do some damage on a hotel buffet, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But fun to see some of the best young men and impressive young men all together getting to discuss and share some experiences here in Arlington, Texas this week.
Yeah, and to be honest, when you're all under the same roof in the same hotel, what better way there is there to get to know somebody when you're on the practice field 2 times a day? You can make some great friends that you could possibly be close with for the rest of your life. Some of them that you might have a lot in common with, some of them that you might not, but you meet a different group of people, and it's a really great experience all around.
That's Colton Hunchak, who helps convert on the 3rd down with the carry. And so Canada keeps this drive going after that last timeout that they call. Canada leading 31 points here with 16 minutes remaining in this ball game. And, well, I'm going to have to update my math again. 6 points will be added to the scoreboard on behalf of the red and white. This time it's Felix Laflamme.
Laflamme finds his way wide open into the back of the end zone. And Canada just keeps pouring it on here. 46-9 is the score.
And Canada will look to tack on one more. Remember, this is following the interception by Canada's defense, picking off Byrne close to midfield. Canada turns it in to 6 and possibly 7 points here. Extra point is good. 47-9. Canada with its largest lead in any of this weekend's 6 ball games.
Canada takes a larger lead here in tonight's game. I'll remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Gatorade, the G Series, Prime, Perform, and Recover by Cutters. No other glove performs like Cutters. And by Tyson Fried Chicken. Serve chicken that's farm fresh. Serve Tyson Chicken.
Lincoln Rose, along with Tom Monfiletto, again want to thank the great crew that's helped bring all the live coverage, starting with the National Signing Day breakfast to you here with USA Football, but in particular on the production side between Derek Raymond and Sean Lerman, and even Tom helping lift a few things along the way. Tom, you did a great job back on Wednesday helping be a part of those young men's memorable experience signing on the dotted line, talking about the U-19 kids. who will head off to college this fall at various impressive institutions, as Canada will kick off following its most recent touchdown. This one from the 5. And it'll go from a routine 20-yard return to all of a sudden a little bit of hope and reinvigorated group of Americans, and in the end just stumbling, tripping over his own 2 feet. Rob Ennis having a good time.
Rob Ennis is going to be somebody that we can look out for the rest of his career. If he's able to do this in reverse field and make this many people miss, he is going to be extremely exciting to watch as his career progresses. And he could be one of the guys that we interview, wherever the venue may be, for that signing day breakfast for USA Football. And as you see here, just having fun.
Remind me never to ask Rob for directions.
Yeah.
The quickest way to get somewhere.
Seriously, but if you got a flag football team, he's your guy.
Well, speaking of flag football, the Flag Football Championships attracted 32 teams from around the country over at AT&T Stadium today, as USA Football had a busy weekend putting on a variety of events here in Arlington. A bullet thrown down the middle and just a little too hot to handle. Tom, it is still Byrne in at quarterback. That time he was looking for Alexander Wilson.
Burns got a really, really strong arm, and he wants to show that here today. He did on the interception. He did on that one right there, and he's going to look to move it downfield with that arm.
Alex spends his summers with those great hands, working at Red Lobster and Sears, helping as a host and cashier. A lot of these young men's summer jobs, staying busy and being a productive member of their communities. A lot of them working on ranches and farms.
Yeah, we saw that Dalton Reisner last night, the center that's going to Kansas State. Mentioned that he stacks bales of hay for fun in the summer.
Deion Alston on that last play, 2-yard gain, makes it 3rd and 8. Again, Byrne in his second series started the second half for USA. Good protection. And we've already seen his arm on display, and this time overthrows his intended target by about 5 yards. And this time, again, DJ Wilson just sees one of his teammates rocket one over his head. And if you have a strong arm, doesn't mean you have to rifle it on the line. A little bit of touch, a little bit of arc would still get that ball to your receiver and drop it in.
And that's something that he'll learn as he gets more reps. But showing off this cannon for an arm, as you said, needed a little bit more air under that to have his receiver run underneath it. But this is something that you'll learn.
They go for it on 4th and 8, and Byrne will get dropped for about a 10-yard loss back to the 32. And it's Micah Tights who is quietly having himself a tremendous night on defense.
Micah Tights, that's the second time we've called his name in a big situation, getting through the line of scrimmage and making a play in the backfield. Micah Tights having himself a game, as you just said. But we want to get back to the signing day breakfast, which you talked about Wednesday morning. It was a lot of fun. Had a lot of questions on what it would look like. We weren't really sure. It's the first time we've ever streamed the signing day breakfast. And it turned out to be kind of a loose atmosphere, but it worked out for the best because the kids were willing to talk. They were willing to have some fun, got to know them a little bit. We saw their personalities. So along with celebrating where they were heading to school next year, it was great to get to know them a little bit, learn a little bit about why they decided to go to whichever school they decided to go to, and rib on each other as well.
Well, this is the 6th game this weekend, and all of a sudden a trend has been bucked by the folks working here at Maverick Stadium. Coincidence or not, when Canada had done well over the past couple of days, you tend to hear a Justin Bieber song come on. When the United States had done something impressive, Selena Gomez started singing, and, well, that time they play a little bit of Selena's Come and Get It after Canada is able to put an end to the USA offensive possession. This is going to be 3rd down coming up for Canada.
Lincoln, I'm not positive here. I wouldn't bet a lot of money on it, but I think that if I were to look at your iPod library, that it would be replete with pop tunes.
What's an iPod? 3rd and 11. Selena Gomez, of course, from right here in the Metroplex area. As it is 47-9, Canada out on top. Canada has come away with points on each of its possessions. Only once has the score been limited to a field goal. We've even seen a kicker catch a first down pass on a fourth down conversion. This is your typical quarterback to wide receiver hookup as they dial up Marc-Antoine Piven.
A little surprised that Team Canada continuing to go through the air here, especially with all the success that they've had on the ground. But I think they want to get their receivers involved, a little love to their guys on the outside, and get to show whoever's watching in Canada or on the Watch ESPN app, maybe perhaps evaluating some of these players, show what all of them can do on the field.
Approaching the final 13 minutes of this ball game. Final minute of the third quarter. Canada looking to end the quarter the same way they started it. Into the end zone, 6 more points, and again, it's Khalil James. Now there is a flag down back around the 13-yard line. And don't rush to put those points on the board just yet, as USA, understandably, will accept the holding penalty and keep this a 38-point deficit at the moment.
So more often than not, Team USA has been pretty much saved by penalties, but so far that really hasn't stopped this Team Canada offensive attack, as if it's not Provo, if it's not Chong, it's James running past everybody on the field and finding the end zone.
And while Canada's offense has put up the majority of those 47 points, its defense has been just as consistent. Another flag flies in late. Canada may be backing up a little bit farther. Now a second flag and a third flag come flying in. And now we're likely going to have multiple infractions to sort out with 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
The referees congregate and discuss which penalties they want to levy against which squad.
These fouls will offset. Holding, offense number 9. Unnecessary roughness, defense.
And now more flags during the announcement.
Personal foul, number 95, defense. Those plays offset. Remains first down. Following the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 95, defense. Penalize half the distance to the goal line, automatic, first down.
Yeah, unfortunately for the United States, William Nicholson Jr. flagged during the announcement there, clearly voicing his displeasure to some of the officials who are in the area. And all of a sudden you go from offsetting fouls to a first down for Canada at the inside the 12-yard line. Clock will start back down in motion. Canada will have to run one play before the end of this quarter. And they'll go to the ground where they've enjoyed success. You see the navy blue moving that pile backwards. Underneath that pile is Rayshon Provo. And as noted, 16 seconds and counting down. Play clock has not begun. We'll see if Canada tries to snap one more. The wind has died down. Here with 2nd and 7 to go. They can pick up a first down. Can Canada inside the 2? And, well, they're going to make the long walk to the opposite end of the field. 3 quarters in the books. Canada pitches a shutout in the third period of play, while adding to its lead, now 47-9 in the 6th and final clash of USA and Canada here at the 2014 International Bowl.
Although the Team Canada offense has been running pretty roughshod through this Team USA defense, DeAndre Wallace has been a bright spot for the Team USA defense. He's been a part of the national team program for a while now, and he's an outstanding middle linebacker with great instincts and can really get it done on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to see some of his highlights from his high school, just creating an absolute mess in the backfield whenever it is. And when he hits, he comes with the thunder in the A-gap, wherever he needs to be. Just a really outstanding player, and Wallace getting some tremendous experience here on the U-18 team.
USA has 12 more minutes to make an impact and leave some lasting memories with their fans cheering on the red, white, and blue. Canada right now threatening to add more to its 38-point advantage after 36 minutes of play. And again, we had a bit of a warning that this could be a decisive advantage for Canada coming into this evening's contest after seeing them on Wednesday in action. As we saw Canada's offense stay out there on the field against USA's defense and vice versa. Canada's offense and defense both dominant that night on Wednesday at AT&T Stadium. The offense looking to chime in here on 2nd and 7. Will be about a yard and a half shy of the first down. And again, the difficult situation here for USA football is Canada can still pick up another first down inside the 2-yard line to keep this drive going. It's 3rd down, but just need 2 from the 3-yard line.
And the U.S. needs a stop here. If they can get a stop here, get the ball back, get the ball in Tucker Burns' hands, and get the ball down the field. A big stop here will do wonders for the psyche of this team. Down as much as they are, be a lone positive that the defense can take, and on cue, Canada runs it in for another touchdown.
Yeah, that time over to the edge. Again, it's Khalil James, the young man who had a touchdown called back there at the end of the last quarter on a holding call. Gets the touchdown, this time officially in ink on his resume.
And it's into the 50s now for Team Canada. Team USA defense has not found an answer for this running attack for Team Canada. Canada has not had to throw the ball, but when they have, they've connected for a couple of touchdowns through the air. And just another opportunity to see Rob Ennis return a kick. That's what I like to say.
So 11:21 to go. Looking for that 54th point. It is blocked, and now the United States remembering, hey, we can try to play this ball at the same time. Canada can also put 2 points on the board in the end, though. 53 will remain the score for Canada for now with 11:21 to go, and a flag appears to be down at the 18-yard line. This would be after the play, so a failed extra point, but would be assessed on the kickoff.
Seen some great talent throughout all of the games, all 6 games here at Maverick Stadium. The USA Football Alumni Spotlight is brought to you by Upper Deck Collect the Best. Since 2009, 8 former Team USA players have gone on to play in the NFL, including New York Giants running back David Wilson, Cardinals defensive back Tyrann Mathieu, and Patriots wide receiver Aaron Dobson. Most recent notable Team USA alumni include Heisman Trophy and National Championship Game MVP Jameis Winston of Florida State, Georgia running back Todd Gurley, and Stanford signal caller Kevin Hogan. Congratulations from Upper Deck to all former Team USA players making a name for themselves at the next level.
Well, Tom, we've just been informed the flag was for a personal foul, and the nature of the foul means an ejection for a member of Team USA following the failed extra point, as it is Casey Gernot being ejected from this ball game. The young man from Redwood City, California.
Really unfortunate to have that happen. Add insult to injury here. Just hope for a good, clean rest of the game. Some rushing yardage.
So 53-9, Canada will kick this ball away. Canada has not allowed points here in the second half. The United States' last score was a field goal on its final possession of the second quarter. And you see the 15-yard penalty assessed here. Instead of kicking off from the 35, it's from midfield. And this is a predictable touchback as a result. So the Canadian defense comes out, and I want to explain the format of the Jamboree back on Wednesday to fans who do not see it. On one half of the field, Canada's defense remained out there regardless of if they made a stop against USA Football's offense. So you're talking about a defense that's shorthanded and yet still making one stop after the next against USA Football's offense. A well-conditioned squad for Canada was on display. And, Tom, I know you were on the opposite half with the other stream on field number 1, and you saw Canada's offense nonstop finding success. It's a very impressive group that next year will help make up the U-19 national team for Canada.
Yeah, it was very impressive. I was thoroughly impressed, and I was really impressed by the way that they were able to maintain their success as series after series, Team USA was able to get kind of an idea of what they wanted to do, who their playmakers were, and then they just continued to put the ball into the end zone, and we've been seeing it here tonight.
Well, after Byrne had the last 2 series for USA, Lancaster is back in. It's 2nd and 5 coming up here for USA. And right now, Canada playing to keep this, just 9 points for USA in the ball game, trying to keep them in single digits. And Carney will get another touch, this time for a first down.
Luke Lancaster, we've been talking about him all night. Really strong arm, really promising athlete at the quarterback position. Some of his highlights from his high school playing days at South Lake Christian Academy. So many of the USA football team members are a part of. As we see another flag coming in right now.
It's going to be a false start on the right tackle. As that time they were able to spot the movement. It was subtle movement from Angulo, but nevertheless, when you're 300 pounds and you have a subtle movement, it's a bit more obvious to call out there than perhaps some of the other individuals out there.
This referee corps reminds me of the soldiers outside of Buckingham Palace. They never budge. No matter what, that flag's coming out. If they see the slightest infraction, that baby's coming out no matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is. Got to commend them for that.
Daniel Nesbitt that time with the stop for Canada on the tackle. Been impressed with our officials. Of course, it's been an easy transition from their typical jobs at the collegiate and high school levels, enforcing virtually the same rules here at the international level of American football. All this governed under IFAF, the International Federation of American Football. This week's event's hosted by USA Football here in the States in Arlington. Toss out the left side from 15 yards out, and now a first down carry and then some close to midfield. And one of the brighter spots here in the second half again, it's Luan Darian Carney.
And Carney, if he could have gotten to the outside, had a lot of room down the sideline, could have broken this one. But Carney, once again, showing what he can do in open space. A lot of athleticism and a lot of quick movements out of the back.
USA from its own 49-yard line. Lancaster, the quarterback. And he's looking left the entire way. Pump fake, trying to buy his receiver some time. Threw it behind where only the receiver could get to it. A little short-armed, intended for DJ Wilson. And DJ, his predicament is the ball is either thrown 5 yards ahead of him or 5 yards behind him, as he doesn't know how to adjust.
Some unfortunate plays where he's gotten himself open, but as you said, hasn't had the luck of a perfect throw yet.
It's 2nd and 10 from the 49, and it's about to be 3rd and longer after a 2-yard loss. Credit Joel Van Pelt with the stop for Canada. And this is one of Canada's 2 national teams that made the trip down to Texas, U-18s and U-19s. Last night, U-19s had a rough outing, but this is going to leave a lot more positive taste in the mouth of Canada as they return home this week.
And as they build towards next year, perhaps put a better effort out onto the field for the U-19 competition.
Yeah, World Championships this year will be in Kuwait. Wide open receiver, Lancaster able to hit his man, and there's DJ Wilson.
And DJ Wilson with, I believe, his first reception of the day, and that might be Lancaster's first completion of the day as well.
Seeing some that were too long, some that were too short. And they are saying, actually, you know what? That's Sidney Davis making the catch. Davis, the junior out of Natchez, Mississippi. USA going to the ground, hoping for similar success. They get half the yardage necessary and make it 6 yards on the gain from Carney. Carney's been doing hard running all night long. USA would love to see him be rewarded with a carry into the end zone.
Whether it's Carney or Alston or Ennis, the backs for USA have been doing a pretty formidable job trying to keep up with their Team Canada running backs.
2nd and 3. It's going to be 4th down, and this will likely be a no-brainer for USA for the rest of the night, going for it on 4th down in Canada territory.
It'll be 4th and short, so a manageable situation here for Team USA, and they might as well just stick to the ground game because it's working right now.
They're going to say a long 1, a short 2 here for USA. Need to get the ball inside that 25-yard line. The late pitch, and this will make for a much more difficult 4th down. That defense of Canada, every bit as impressive here tonight on the full-length field as they were over there at the home of the Dallas Cowboys back on Wednesday.
The option has really not done much for Team USA today. A lot of it has to do with the speed of the outside linebackers and defensive ends here for Team Canada.
And now that it's 4th and 7 after the loss of yardage, all of a sudden the United States is going to try to let their kicker Jordan Chokar try to shine on a 48-yard field goal try. Good hold. The kick will come up short.
So the kick is short and the defense coming out with some sort of energy. You need to bring some passion to the field no matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is, and you'll get that out of big Colton Beebe, who's going to be playing middle linebacker here during this series for Team USA.
So USA had 9 points in the first half. Canada, almost halfway through the 4th quarter, continues the second half shutout as its offense will come back out on the field from the 31-yard line. Canada had yet another touchdown drive on its last possession, and just enough of a block to send the receiver free from the line of scrimmage for about a 3-yard gain. As Canada has not lost yardage on many plays here tonight, even if it's just a couple yards at a time, forward progress. As this time, young man out of Montreal able to make the stop, as that is Bukasa, I'm being told, who made this play. So 2nd and a long 6. Spin move after running into his own man. First Americans finally touch him 10 yards downfield. And finally the tackle by Provo.
Michael Urbaez also helping out on the play, bringing Provo to the ground.
Yeah, pardon me, the run being brought to the ground by Provo. Nice job.
So you're seeing some great energy out of the defensive line here for Team USA. The defensive line was the story of last night's game for the U-19 squad. Just absolutely suffocating and just a complete brick wall for that Canadian offense to deal with.
A short run, but it'll continue to eat up clock here in the 4th quarter.
Colton Beebe making a play off the edge. And Beebe, along with being 6'3", 245, and just a mountain of a hitter, can really tackle well. If you look at his film and look at some of his highlights, his tackling is outstanding. He doesn't have to go for the huge hit every single time. He is very efficient in his tackling, very little wasted movement in his pursuit to the ball, and he's got a bright future.
Yeah, Beebe, the young man out of Kansas City, Kansas, mentions if he could meet anybody, it would be Ray Lewis, recent retired Baltimore Raven, who played the same position as Beebe. Meanwhile, Jordan Franklin factoring in on the stop on that last play.
Jordan Franklin from Blythewood High School out of Columbia, South Carolina. Hasn't been tested much today, but a nice play there, almost taking it the other way. If he were able to come up with that, he had a lot of open space ahead of him. Could have taken it in for 6.
Jordan Franklin didn't limit himself to football to pick his player he'd like to meet, as LeBron James topped the list. Great protection, but also significant coverage by USA's secondary. Finally, a Canadian springs loose with a pass overthrown. Nice job by USA's defense not to give anything up despite the protection, as finally Hunchak had drifted loose on that far sideline, but was unable to haul it in.
Is this the first punt that we've seen out of Team
This
Canada?
will be the first punt. The last time that Canada has had to kick was on a field goal try, a successful try at that.
Couple of the U-18 players, Lincoln, signed on the dotted line Wednesday, including Michael Legan, who we talked about. Donald Wilhite headed to Culver Stockton. And Also, DJ Johnson, who is headed to Southwestern University.
Yeah, Southwestern is here in Texas. That's a Division III school in Georgetown, just outside of Austin. About 2.5 hours south of here. Southwestern Pirates just recently added football back to their athletic department. They had their first football season this past fall.
We're going to take a look at what DJ Johnson had to say before he made the announcement.
DJ Johnson, cornerback, Southwestern University. I'm the player that a coach asks to get something done, I go get it done. Personally, I'm a real laid-back guy, but I compete hard and I have great passion for this game because it is the greatest game in the world.
A great game that has spread throughout the world, over 60 nations adopting and competing in American football, and of course, one of the first that it spread to Canada, north of the border. A game they have embraced and certainly shining bright at tonight here in the matchup of the U-18 squads. This is the second oldest group to compete this weekend. So, as you noted, the first punt, Tom, for Canada tonight, but it pins USA back. It's now a 2nd and 11 coming up from the 8-yard line. Carry up the middle. Got the original line to gain, and then some, the original line of scrimmage, and then some for Alston. Will make it a much more manageable 3rd down with about 5 to go.
We see Jesse Delgado, who was in at fullback, helping clear a nice path for Alston.
Again, want to thank the folks at USA Football for putting on this successful event this week, not just for the national team players, but also for their support of this broadcast, including Nick Panisi, as well as Matt Ferrara, who have been a great help throughout these broadcasts. And their knowledge of these young men on display as another first down for USA Football out to the 36. We're going to approach the 3-minute mark here in a moment. And while USA Football in all likelihood is going to come up short in this nightcap, the series will be even 3 games apiece, meaning a split between USA and Canada for the North American Championship Cup, a new format this year for the International Bowl, an entertaining one at that, featuring players all the way from the U-15 levels up to the U-19 national teams. A bright future for American football in both of these countries. A lot of individuals that we look forward to seeing in years to come in this International Bowl as we watch them mature over the years. And we certainly want to wish the best of luck to the U-19 kids who all signed back on Wednesday, and some of these young men with the U-18s who are also headed off to college next year.
One of them being Rob Ennis, who's in at quarterback now, playing a little wildcat, but showing he can throw it a little bit too, as this one is caught by Alston. But Rob Ennis, one of the more exciting players on the U-18 team. But, Lincoln, you hit it right on the head. I can't tell you what my excitement level is now after meeting all of these guys, to be able to root for them next year at the highest level, being able to watch them on TV, maybe even go in to see some of the games. It'll be really fun.
Committing to powerhouse football programs throughout the country. A lot of bright futures, not just in football, but even afterwards for these young men. 3rd and they say 11 for USA. And you mentioned the new approach at quarterback as they've been rotating young men in and out. And for the U.S., back there right now, it's Clayton Oliver, who we saw give them a little extra in that first half in terms of a young man who can both throw with a great arm, but also at time his legs on display.
I'm sorry, I thought it was Rob Ennis. Oliver was moving so well. I thought Ennis was in at quarterback. That's my fault, but that's a huge credit to Oliver for his quickness and his ability to run. I mean, his athleticism is really, really, really a huge part of his game.
4th and 4 becomes 4th and 9 after the false start on the left tackle. See if that changes the mind here for USA. United States had its 9 points all in the first half, as Canada has just grown stronger and stronger. Finally forced to punt for the first time was Canada on its last drive leading up to this possession for USA. Looking for it all. And, well, Canada is fortunate they did not intercept that ball. Would not have been a game breaker. Obviously would have liked the individual stat of an interception. But instead of being pinned back in their own half of the field, Canada will inherit this football on USA's, I believe, 36-yard line. Make it 37.
And Donald Wilhite, we mentioned him earlier. Remember, this U-18 squad made his decision on Wednesday, made it official at least. And I thought the most interesting part about visiting with Wilhite, and we'll take a look at him after this play, was his willingness to learn how to coach. So he's taking the tutelage that he's receiving this week, and he's going to use that for his career beyond playing football.
And they'll stop play, a flag.
Illegal substitution. Defense. Ball players in position. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Makes it 1st and 10 for Canada before they have to snap the ball for the first time on this drive. Canada will likely be running this football for the remainder of the night and try to avoid stepping out of bounds. There's the gain, and as promised, another bright young man.
Donald Wilhite, linebacker, Culver Stockton College. I'm a aggressive middle linebacker. I'm all about the run, stopping, blitzing, everything to just get in people's faces, make them scared of me, basically. I feel like Culver Stockton can really get me in a place where I can have a future afterwards. My plan's to be a coach after I finish college, and that's my goal in life, make a difference in people's lives after college. So I want to be a coach.
Young man out of Austin had about a 3.5-hour drive with his family to get up here to Arlington. Tyler Chow picks up the first down for Canada. And with 40 seconds to go, clock will get started back up here in just a moment when the chains get reset.
And I thought the coolest part about that was the fact that he wanted to be a coach, and he knows that already. Usually you coach when your playing career ends before you wanted it to end. And to have that being in your head before you go on to play at college, he knows that that the odds of him making it to the ultimate level and playing the National Football League might not be as perfect as it would be for some of the other guys that are signing to different schools. But having that idea and having that backup plan is something that's really commendable. And, of course, got a soft spot for that because everybody in my family is a coach.
Final seconds tick down, handshakes taking place. Memories have already been made as it's official. Canada will take 2 of the final 3 meetings against USA on this final day. And these 2 nations, as impressive as they have been over the years, they will share the North American Championship Cup as the U-18s prevail 53-9 for Canada. Fans, when we come back, we will have each nation's most valuable player recognized.
For me, I always had to do things the right way. I could never get away with doing things just so, or almost all the way. I had to do everything perfectly. You see me, I'm not a big guy. I'm only about this tall. You know, I probably should have never made it to the NFL. Everyone always looks at me and says, "You played in the NFL?" I say, "Yeah, I know I'm small, but I have a big heart." And I've always heard that, but one thing I know that helps me is doing things the right way. Proper technique. Proper study habits. I didn't always have the physical gifts, but the controllables, the things that I could control with film study, with technique, perfect form, perfect tackling, that's what gave me an edge because I was willing to do everything completely and fully the right way when others maybe just started to slide by. That was my equalizer. That's what allowed me a chance and an opportunity to play the game.
And we are back here as Team Canada takes the U-18 U.S. versus Canada game, and we'll head it down to the field, where Garrett Shea will announce the MVPs of the game here, as the MVP for the U.S. is given to Rob Ennis, who's had an outstanding game in the return game. At halfback, he did it all. Caught some passes. He was really, really impressive, Link.
That's Richard McLean, the president of Football Canada, in the red. As in a moment, our Rydell player of the game from Canada will be recognized.
Team Canada's number 23, Rayshon Provo.
Rayshon Provo identified as the top man to wear the red, white, and black. You see our two young men who had the most memorable outings and will receive the hardware. Provo, one touchdown tonight, had one called back, but very efficient with his touches.
And as you see there, 11 carries, 72 yards, 83 return yards to lead this U.S. offense. So a lot to improve upon for this U-18 team, but a great week it has been, an incredible experience, and you can't complain about seeing football in February.
We want to thank Garrett Shea, certainly one of the directors at USA Football. He is in charge of the communications and really helps us ensure that these young men get the recognition and the experience that they deserve. Garrett there in the blue and white top, a part of the final ceremony. But this is what it's all about, the growth of the game, the love of the game, as both nations come together one final time here in Arlington, Texas. This has been the 2014 International Bowl, a split 3 games apiece in this new format. For Tom Monfiletto, I'm Lincoln Rose. A thanks to the tremendous crew, and of course, you can keep up year-round with USA Football and the growth of this game we love so much at usafootball.com. Final score from this 6th and final game: Canada prevails 53-9.